So, um, there's a lot of, there's always new people that want to come to the Philippines, and, they're from America or they're from Australia or somewhere else. And, I'm not an expert as to how to come here and be successful, but this is how I would prefer to do it. And this is by no means, the right or the wrong way. This is how I would do it. So, number one would be to buy an apartment or rent an apartment that is affordable, like a local. Like, you don't need, in my opinion, I do not need a condominium that costs 20,000 plus, 40,000. For some people, that's a necessity, but for me, I like to live frugally, like just a regular old Filipino apartment with a little kitchen, a little CR, a little easy way to cook. Bought a little refrigerator, um, you know, a cheap plastic table and some plastic chairs. There's our little one-bedroom apartment. All it has is a fan in it. We don't have aircon, nothing. So we just live, kind of like local people who don't have air cons, nothing. So that's number one, because you can save the most money. Number two is to eat the local foods. So I avoid Americanized restaurants because they're more expensive. That's not to say we haven't had them, because it's kind of a fun experience for her to go to a Shakey's or McDonald's or something like that. We've done that, but it's just more of a treat. It's not a regular thing. So that's number two, is if you go to the wet markets and you buy your meats and your vegetables there, you're going to save money, and that's going to allow you to spend more time here. Unless you have like retirement or everything else, where you're getting a monthly check, which I don't. I just save money to come here. So that's number two, is to eat the local foods and save money that way. I mean, you can literally go to the wet market, and for less than $20, you can buy food that will last you for 3, 4, 5 days. And that's amazing. And as long as you can stick to that, you can really extend your trip. And then number three is to just go with the flow. Like I've said before, if you just are adaptable, and you avoid the taxis because they're more expensive, you take the jeepneys, you ride the tricycles, but there's a technique to that too, because they're going to upcharge you. But even still, it's not a lot of money. So those are just my things, that I would advise other people to come here. And then there's the number four. The number four, which is the girls. Guys are going to come here and they're going to want to meet the girls, because they're young, pretty, friendly, willing to, talk to you, even though in your own country, there's no way that a 20-something girl is going to talk to a 50-plus-year-old guy. But here you can. But you have to be careful, because, as you know, there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people that want to take advantage and everything else. So you can do your due diligence and try to vet them, but you never know if they're going to be honest. But for me, meeting a good girl with values, from the province, who has kind of a God as her compass, has been my saving grace this time around. Because before, I met kind of a more rougher element type of girl. But number one, in the girl, avoid the bars. Don't go to the bars and meet a bar girl, because you're going to get bar girl habits and behaviors, and they're all going to come into your life. There's going to be arguing, drinking, etc., drama, etc. I mean, the tampo is going to drive you crazy. And if you don't know what tampo is something that Filipinos do when they're upset, and sometimes they'll use that as a weapon. So, if you don't rush things, and you come here and you see the girl for yourself, that's the best way to do it. So those are kind of my 3 or 4 things that can really, really help you have a more enjoyable experience. And again, that's just my approach, and it's not everybody's approach, but if I were going to give anybody advice, those are the things that I would say.
Okay, how do you know that I'm a good woman?
How do I know?
Yes.
Well, of course, we talked before we met online for quite a while, and you were consistent. And then when I got here, we've spent a good time together. We've had ups and downs as far as like typical things throughout the day that might show bad behaviors, like being hungry, or it's raining and we're outside, or being around people and your attitude is always upbeat, positive, friendly. You haven't had bad behaviors, and not only that, you're consistent. Your life shows your morals. So every day that we have been together, your the way that you described yourself has matched your behaviors in person.
Mm.
And of course, everybody can be an actor and actress, but as we know, you're not a very good actress on the films, on the videos, so you wouldn't be good at acting like somebody that you're not. So I
Well,
feel pretty confident in who you are.
yeah, because I just want to be myself,
Yeah,
not to pretend like someone else.
yeah, and you're great. I have a great time with her. She's fun. She's happy. We joke around a lot. I love her laugh. It's gives me joy. She's a great person, and I'm blessed to have met this one. And on that note, a lot of men come here and they want to go to the bars because they're thinking about only one thing. But if you're going to be long term here, why are you going to go to a bar to meet a girl? Think about it. Go somewhere like a church or something, or go somewhere where those kind of things are in their lifestyle. Start there and observe, and use your eyes and use your intelligence and your experiences to judge, and don't rush into anything. Be patient. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your advice to people out there that is still single, then they're looking for someone, and how they know that this is the right one for them?
Well, I can't give the perfect advice, because then I would be a millionaire and I could write books. And love is complicated, and relationships are you know so different. Each person is different. So, but I think a lot of men like to point fingers, and they like to say, she did this, she did that. And what men don't do is they don't look in the mirror and see themselves. And when a problem happens, they just place blame. And it's a two-way street. So, um, and if you end up with a bar girl and she's destroying your life, well, whose choice was it? So turn the lens on yourself, and realize that you're the one that made the bad decision. As far as how to choose the right person, you can only set yourself up the best way possible, which is, doing what I said, going where the good girls might be, not going where the bad girls definitely are. That's my number one advice, and really, it's avoid the bar girls. If you want to come to the Philippines long term, and you want love and you want peace in your life and everything else, do not go to a bar and choose a girl. Simple as that.
Well, it seems like your advice is for those who are looking for someone. But what if like people just come here and just hang out? Or, yeah.
Well, people are just coming here and hanging out. There's then get involved in your local community. You know, go to restaurants, meet people who are working in the car and areas, and hang out and observe. Maybe you get friendly with somebody who's working there and they have a niece or somebody recommended. Filipinos will recommend, good, give you like a tip for, like, this person is a good girl. But get to know everybody first, and then start searching. Don't rush into anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my advice.